Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the rides that make your heart race and your garage jealous. I'm Your Name, and today we're talking about something straight out of muscle car heaven, a legend that's been sleeping for way too long and is finally roaring back to life. That's right, the 2026 Pontiac GTO. If you're a gearhead like me, you know the GTO isn't just a car, it's the blueprint for American muscle. The original GOAT that turned highways into playgrounds back in the 60s, and now, after nearly 2 decades off the map, Pontiac is resurrecting it with a modern twist that keeps the soul intact but amps up everything else. Picture this, a V8 beast that's equal parts nostalgia and next-gen fury, ready to smoke tires and steal shows. Stick around because we're going to walk you through every inch of this thing, from the aggressive lines that scream speed to the cockpit that'll make you feel like a king. And yeah, we'll even crunch the numbers on what it'll cost to park one in your driveway. If you're hyped, smash that like button now, let's roll. Alright, let's start right up front where this monster makes its first impression, because the 2026 GTO doesn't whisper, it bellows. Pull up to any stoplight and the front end hits you like a freight train of attitude. That massive grille is pure Pontiac DNA, wide, blacked out, and flanked by those razor-sharp LED headlights that slice through the night like laser beams. They're adaptive too, swiveling with your steering to light up corners before you even get there, and during the day. They give off this predatory squint with integrated daytime running lights that trace the edges like veins of fire. Below the grille, the lower air dam is sculpted low and wide, sucking in massive gulps of air for that supercharged heart underneath. And it's finished with those signature GTO split bumper vibes, but updated with carbon fiber accents for a sleeker, more aggressive bite. The hood? Oh man, it's got those functional scoops that nod to the classics, but they're vented smartly to feed the engine bay without messing with aero. And the color options, starting from that iconic rally red up to a new midnight shadow, metallic, make this front fascia pop under any light. It's not just pretty, it's engineered to look like it's already moving at 60 even when it's parked. If you're into that old school menace wrapped in 2026 tech, this nose alone might have you signing papers, swinging around to the side now. And that's where the GTO really stretches its legs literally. This thing rides on a stretched wheelbase compared to the old Aussie-sourced models, giving it that long, low-slung stance that's all about planted power. The fenders flare out just enough to hug those massive 20-inch staggered wheels 19s up front, 20s in the rear wrapped in sticky performance rubber that grips like it's glued to the road. The side profile pays homage to the 64 original with that fastback roofline sweeping back gracefully, but Pontiac styled it up with active aero elements, like deployable side skirts that drop at speed to slice through wind resistance. Chrome accents trim the beltline, catching the sun just right, and those door handles, flush-mounted and pop out on approach, keeping the lines clean and the drag coefficient down to a slippery 0.32 from the mirror's slim, blacked-out housings with blind spot cams built into the subtle GTO badging on the C-pillar. Every detail screams purpose-built speed. And let's not forget the exhaust tips peeking out midway down the rockers. They're quad setups, polished stainless, hinting at the symphony waiting to unleash. Walk alongside this beast, and you feel the balanced front-heavy muscle but with hips wide enough to dance through turns. It's a side view that says, I'm here to play but don't test me. Flipping to the rear, and yeah, this is where the GTO plants its flag and dares you to catch up. The tail is all business, with a full-width LED taillight bar that wraps around like a glowing red halo, pulsing when you brake with that high-intensity stop that no one's missing. Below it, the diffuser is huge and honeycomb-patterned, channeling air from those side-exit exhaust twin pipes per side, aggressively angled to tuck under the bumper for that tucked-in, ready-to-pounce look. The rear spoiler is a subtle lip-style unit, carbon fiber of course, adding downforce without spoiling the clean lines, and it's adjustable for track days if you're feeling rowdy. The Pontiac script across the deck lid is embossed in 3D chrome, glowing under the integrated third brake light, and the whole setup sits over those wide haunches that make the rear wheels look like they're flexing. From back here, it's got that classic Coke bottle shape, refined for today, curvy but not cartoonish, with just enough rake to the stance that it looks like it's squatting on its haunches. Park it tail out at a car meet and heads will turn. It's the kind of rear that ends arguments about what's the baddest muscle on the block. Now, hop inside, because if the outside is the promise, the interior delivers the payoff in spades. Slide into the driver's seat and trust me, that power-adjustable, Heated and vented bucket with Alcantara bolsters, hugs you like it, was custom molded, and you're in a cockpit that's equal parts race car and lounge. The dash sweeps wide with soft touch materials everywhere, from the leather-wrapped dash pad to the carbon fiber inlays that run door to door, giving it that premium feel without going full luxury snooze fest. Dead center is the 12.3-inch curved touchscreen infotainment beast, running Pontiac's latest OS that's wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and over-the-air updates baked in. Navigation snappy with augmented reality overlays for turns, and the gauge cluster behind the flat-bottom steering wheel is a fully digital 15-inch display that reconfigures on the Fly Sport mode, cranks up the tack, Eco keeps it chill. Audio? A 12-speaker Bose setup that thumps bass deep enough to rattle the quarter panels, and it's got active noise cancellation for those long hauls. Rear seats fold flat for 14 cubic feet of cargo, but up front, it's all about you, wireless charging pad. Dual zone climate with those vintage-style vents that actually work, and ambient lighting that shifts colors to match your drive mode: red for track, blue for cruise. Build quality's top-notch too. No rattles, just that solid thunk when doors close. It's a space that feels alive, blending retro cues like the round HVAC knobs with tech that won't date in a year. Families might squeeze in the back for short trips. But this is built for two-up blasts where every button begs to be pushed. Speaking of pushing buttons, let's talk performance, because that's where the 2026 GTO earns its stripes or burns them right off. Under that long hood sits a 6.2-liter supercharged V8, hand-built in Detroit with direct injection and variable valve timing. That pumps out a tire shredding, 550 horsepower and 530 pound-feet of torque right from idle. Pair it with either the standard 6-speed manual short throws, heel toe heaven, or the optional 10-speed auto with paddle shifters, and you're looking at 0-60 in a blistering 3.8 seconds flat, quarter mile in the low 12s, and a governed top end north of 180. But it's not just straight-line brutality. The chassis is a stiffened unibody with magnetic ride control that reads the road like a psychic, firming up for corners but soaking up potholes on the daily. Brembo brakes 6-piston fronts, 4-piston rears haul it down from 60 to 0 in under 110 feet, and the limited slip diff with torque vectoring makes every exit apex feel like poetry. I took this thing out on a twisty back road, and man, the steering's hydraulic assisted for that pure feel, no numb electric nonsense, letting you place the nose with surgical precision while the rear squats and hooks up like it's on rails. Fuel economy? Realistically 15 city, 22 highway on premium, but who cares when it's this fun? Launch control's a riot, and in track mode, it growls like a caged animal through those active valves in the exhaust. Safety tech's there too: adaptive cruise, lane keep, 360 cams, but it never gets in the way of the thrill. This isn't a cruiser. It's a weapon disguised as daily driver, ready to remind every crossover on the road what raw power tastes like. Of course, all that fire doesn't come cheap. But let's break down the pricing, because Pontiac's making this revival accessible without skimping on the goods. Base model kicks off at around $52,000 for the GTO Pure, which nets you the 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8 good for 420 horses. Cloth seats, and an 8-inch screen, still plenty quick, and a steal for the badge. Step up to the GTO Premium at $58,000, and you're in leather territory with the 10-speaker audio, heated everything, and that sweet adaptive suspension. Top dog GTO Judge trim, that's $65,000 starting, unlocking the full supercharged mill Recaro thrones, the big 12.3-inch display, and exclusive orange accents nodding to the '69 legend. Add-ons like the Performance Pack for $3,500 bigger brakes, summer tires or the sunroof for $1,200 push it higher. But even loaded, you're under $75,000 for a car that embarrasses six-figure exotics in a drag strip. Compared to a Mustang GT at similar dough or a Challenger RT, the GTO edges out on exclusivity and that Pontiac Heritage Premium. Resale? Early birds are flipping pre-orders for profit already. So if you're in, get it now. Financing's straightforward through GM 0% for 60 months on well-qualified, and leasing starts at $599 a month. Bottom line, for the muscle it musters, this pricing feels like daylight robbery in the best way. So, who should snag a 2026 GTO? If you're the type who blasts 60s rock on loop, lives for weekend canyon carves, or just wants a four-door missile that turns heads at the grocery store, this